Torture is one of the darkest tools used throughout human history. In this video, we'll explore the various forms of torture used historically and in modern times, physical, psychological, and beyond. Let's start by understanding what torture really is. Physical torture. Physical torture involves inflicting pain or injury to the body. Historically and today, physical torture is one of the most common and brutal methods. Examples include beating, the most basic form of physical torture, involving hitting or whipping a victim with objects like batons, rods, or whips. Electrocution, electric shocks used to cause severe pain, often applied to sensitive parts of the body. Burning, involving fire or heated objects like irons to inflict burns on the skin. Waterboarding, a method that simulates drowning by pouring water over a cloth covering the victim's face. Crucifixion, historically, a method of execution where the victim was nailed or tied to a cross, leading to slow death by asphyxiation. Physical torture leaves lasting physical and psychological scars and is designed to break a person's body and will. Psychological torture. Psychological torture targets the mind, aiming to cause severe emotional distress and mental suffering. While it may not leave visible scars, it can be just as destructive as physical torture. Common psychological torture methods include isolation, keeping a person in solitary confinement for long periods, often in darkness or silence, causing sensory deprivation. Sleep deprivation, denying the victim sleep for extended periods, leading to hallucinations, confusion, and mental breakdown. Threats, constantly threatening the victim or their loved ones with harm or death, even if those threats are not carried out. Mock executions, simulating an execution to instill extreme fear, where the victim believes they are about to be killed. These techniques are used to break a person's will, induce paranoia, and strip them of their sense of control. Sexual torture. Sexual torture uses acts of sexual violence or humiliation to degrade, control, and inflict shame. Examples include rape and sexual assault, used as tools to humiliate and subjugate victims, especially in conflict zones. Forced nudity, forcing the victim to be naked in front of captors or others as a form of humiliation. Sexual threats and humiliation, forcing the victim into degrading sexual acts or making constant sexual threats to break their spirit. Sensory torture. Sensory torture involves manipulating a person's senses, sight, sound, touch, smell, or taste, to create overwhelming discomfort or pain. Common sensory torture methods include sensory deprivation, placing the victim in a setting where they are deprived of sensory input, such as complete darkness or silence, leading to disorientation. Sensory overload, subjecting the person to loud noises, flashing lights, or extreme temperatures to overload their senses and cause extreme discomfort. These methods are designed to break the victim's connection to reality, often leading to panic attacks, hallucinations, and long-term trauma. Cultural and religious torture. Cultural and religious torture targets a person's identity, faith, or beliefs, often aimed at humiliating or forcing them to renounce their values. Common methods include forced conversion, forcing someone to renounce their religion or cultural beliefs, often under threat of death or harm. Cultural suppression, banning the practice of cultural rituals, language, or traditions, stripping individuals of their cultural identity. Desecration of sacred items, destroying or defiling religious or cultural artifacts to humiliate and break the victim's spirit. These methods aim to strip individuals of their identity, leading to feelings of shame, loss, and emotional damage. Pharmacological torture. Pharmacological torture uses drugs to manipulate the mind and body, creating physical or psychological distress. Examples include truth serums, administering drugs like sodium pentothal to make victims more susceptible to interrogation. Overdosing or underdosing, intentionally giving too much or too little of needed medication to cause pain or confusion. Hallucinogens, administering drugs that distort reality, leading to paranoia, fear, or hallucinations. These methods of torture are designed to break the body, mind, and spirit. By understanding them, we can raise awareness and promote the protection of human rights. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe to help